Have you noticed? Size matters. From the moment that you're born. On your birth certificate, they write your name, the date, and the only two other things that matter, right? Your name and your height. When you're a kid, they constantly measure you against a yardstick. When you get to be a teenager, they ask about your grades, measuring your intelligence, and then when you're an adult, they ask about the size of your income. And in our world, we equate bigger with what? Better. This topic reminds me of an old-timey cheer I learned back in high school locker room. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. It goes like this. We must. Mike, increase the bust. The bigger the better. Cars, trophies, houses. In our world, bigger is better. Now, I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm only 3.5 feet tall. And I bet you think I'm going to say, small is better. No. Actually, being small sucks. It sucks having to buy your shoes in the kids' department. My choices are purple and pink. In the grocery store, I have to tug on the apron of the stock boy to reach my favorite brand of toilet bowl cleaner. And imagine after giving a great speech, instead of getting a handshake, you get a pat on the head. Yep, being small sucks. So, if bigger is better and being small sucks, how can I be a motivational speaker? Can you bring the sound down a little bit? Well, that's because there's more than one way to measure a person. On the outside and on the inside. And as we all know, the size of what's inside matters most. For about the first 35 years of my life, when I went to bed, I'd make a wish. Actually, it was a secret wish that in the morning I'd wake up like Tom Hanks in that movie Big, sprouted like 6 feet tall overnight. I thought that was so cool. Back then, I thought my only chance at getting happy was getting big on the outside. But then, one day it dawned on me that it's not our outer size, nor our outer situation that determines real success and happiness in life. It's our inner size, our inner situation, our thoughts, attitudes, beliefs, and connection to spirit. Now, our inner size is that part of us that is unseen but all important. Like the roots of a tree. We can't see them, right? But we know the deeper they grow, the bigger the storm that tree can weather. And just like that, the bigger we are on the inside, the more capable, confident, resilient, and loving we become. And that, my friends, is what walking tall is all about. Before I was a speaker, I had a psychotherapy practice. Can you believe it? I was a shrink. It was just a small practice. For those of you wondering the politically correct term for a person like me, I say, call us little people or people of short stature. Nowadays, those are the PC terms. Little person, person of short stature. Anybody here ever seen the TLC show called Little People, Big World? Okay, you got a few fans, and you know my friends Matt and Amy Roloff, and are familiar with some of the challenges that little people have. For example, I'm challenged every time I go to wash my hands, get a plate out of the cupboard, walk my 40-pound dog, Keisha, mingle with a standing crowd, lift a suitcase, shop for groceries, and prepare a meal. You see, there are lots and lots of inconveniences, and I'd like to let the people at Disneyland know that, in fact, it is not a small world, after all. Now, the physical challenges are rather minute when compared to the emotional challenges. As a kid, I was teased and called lots of nasty names. As a teenager, I was excluded from that amazing world of romance and dating. And as a young adult, potential bosses saw my height before my talent. Over and over, I got the message loud and clear that something was wrong with me or that I wasn't good enough. And you know what? I started to believe that about myself. And then, my greatest handicap was no longer my outer smallness, but my inner smallness. Inner smallness universally is feeling inadequate, incapable, and scared. It fills us with self-doubt and holds us back from achieving our goals. But more importantly, it holds us back from expressing our innate greatness, our true self. Now, the notion that something's wrong with us, which everybody has to some degree, is the seed of inner smallness, and it can get magnified with things like criticism, failure, rejection, and ridicule. You can think of my outer stature as a metaphor for what you may sometimes feel on the inside. Have you ever felt deflated after a big failure? Ever felt crushed by another's criticism? Ever felt beaten down by a big disappointment? Well, as you can see, you don't have to be a little person to experience inner smallness. I believe we all experience inner smallness at various times and to varying degrees. Even someone as tall as my cousin Shaq, Shaquille O'Neil, could have a case of inner smallness. So let's talk about breaking free from inner smallness. And because our time's short today, I'll only be sharing with you one amazing and the most important technique for walking tall, which is silencing the critical voice. I'll start my story back 1 month before I was going to graduate from Art Center College of Design, a very prestigious commercial art school in Pasadena, California. Now, did I mention that this was 1 month before the completion of my entire life's education? One day, I'm on my way to the dark room, and the dean invites me into his office, only to tell me that no one will hire me because I'm a little person. Unfortunately, I internalized that outer attack, and I started telling myself, I'll never get hired. Consequently, I crashed and burned. I dropped out, moved to Hawaii, and never used my photo degree. Fast forward about a decade and a half later, I've been doing the psychotherapy thing. I'm starting to make my way into speaking, and it's September 1999, Boulder, Colorado. I'm getting ready to give my first all-day seminar to a Fortune 100 company. I was so nervous you could hear it in my voice, and just as I was getting ready to be introduced, I noticed I had to use the ladies' room. So I dashed down the very long hotel corridor into the ladies' lounge, and just as I was getting ready to bolt back to the meeting room, there was a problem. The handle on the bathroom door was so high, I could just graze the bottom of it. And the door was so heavy every time I meant it, but it would slip out of my hand. And try as I might, I was trapped in that bathroom and late for my program. Now, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. In the past, I used to be late a lot. My critical voice saw this as a perfect opportunity to pounce on me. You'll be late again, you irresponsible dweeb. Clearly, criticism was not what I needed right then, right? Duh. Stop, I said with command. Then there was some silence, some space to seek a solution. What to do? I looked around the room for something to hoist me up, but there wasn't a chair, a wastebasket, wasn't a stool, not even a crane. What to do? Oh, I started banging on the door, shouting for help, and some more, and finally somebody came by and set me free. I dashed down that hallway. I hopped up on stage, and I began my day-long talk on disabilities, sharing what had just happened. We all had a big chuckle, and it was actually a perfect start for the day. A silence in that critical voice allowed me to seek a solution, clear the obstacle at hand, and meet my next experience with confidence and a smile. Silencing that critical voice allowed me to walk up on that stage, walking tall. So, reflect for a moment. What are the words your critical voice uses most often to beat you down with? Maybe it's something about your timing, your temper, or maybe the most popular one around these days, your tummy. How do you feel when you hear those critical, cruel words? Small, afraid, inadequate? How can you ever let your greatness be known? How can you ever let others know who you truly are if you don't defend yourself against that insidious gremlin by commanding it to stop? The one thing I know about goals is every time I set a new one, there is that voice. Who are you to think that you can do that? You say, what? You think you can do that? Or maybe, you can't do that. I think this is a common thing for all people, no matter what level of success we're at. When we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, take a risk, and set a goal higher, that voice comes up and smashes us down. So we have to learn to silence a critical voice. If you want to reach your goals, silence your critical voice. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. 3 steps. First one is pay attention to your inner chatter. Second one, when you hear it, command the voice to stop. And the third one, come back and be present in the moment. Be fully present in the moment. So, you guys want to learn how to do it like really cool? Well, I want you to all think about something that your critical voice most often says to you. What's the thing that you hear your critical voice say most often? Okay, you got it? Okay, so what are you going to say next time you hear that voice? Stop. Oh, that was so lame. What are you guys going to say when you hear that voice? Stop. Okay, good. I like to use my hand and my foot to actually get a little bit of strength behind it. That brings up the red energy, which is the energy of autonomy and that energy of strength and clarity. So let's stomp our hand and push our hands. If you want, you can join me. 1, 2, 3. What are you going to say when you hear that voice? Stop. One more time, a little bit louder. Stop. Woo! You guys are on your way to walking tall already. So, silence your critical voice and take a giant step in walking tall. The other steps of walking tall are unveiling the diamond within and finding the gift in your challenge. Hopefully we'll have another chance to have more time, and you can hear more about that. I wanted to let you also know that besides doing empowerment for everyone, I do specialize empowerment for women as a minority and helping them, as my introduction said, step up, stand up, and speak up, to be heard, to win respect, and to get promoted. I know a lot of women, a lot of people of minorities struggle with the biases, the social biases, and I happen to have a lifelong set of skills that have helped me in overcoming all that. I also do diversity programs, not just on, obviously, I'm not culturally diverse, and I'm not racially diverse, but I do have a slight disability, and I don't actually talk on ADA or any of that, but I do talk about helping people function from their center of emotional intelligence, this brain here in the center of the heart. I wrote a book called Happy Workers Do Their Best Work. Dennis and I are on the same page with that, and my whole approach is that you give the money to meet, when people are happy, their needs are getting met. You give the money to meet their economic needs, and what about their social needs, the needs for inclusion, respect. So how to create a culture that includes people and helps them feel valued and respected. So anyway, I wish I had some more of these books to give away, but I just was at a Little People's National Conference. I gave 3 talks there, and all my books disappeared. So you can get on my website for free. Anyway, no matter what cards you may have been dealt, no matter how tall you stand, each and every one of you can dream big dreams, do incredible things, and be powerful and compassionate human beings. You can all walk tall. So, my friends, go and be big inside. Be huge. Be gigantic. And always walk tall.